Okay. I'm calling for a stop to halt all of extractive industries and to quit hurting our sacred Mother Earth. To be aware that we have a right to exist. There are some of us that don't live to make money, and we need to realize that all our steps should be sacred.
No.
I grew up around the Toma area all my life. I went to grade school. My school bus was a 1956 Ford Woodside, and I've been there all my life. I grew up with the sacred religious grounds on the property, uh, doing medicine dances and feasts, even to weddings and different things like that. And the 40 acres that we lived on, I used to run all over the place in the woods when I was young. I mean, that was my playground. And before the sand mines came around Wisconsin, I used to just love being in the woods. I remember a time where there was a fire that was nearby. Went over there and checked it out, and there was a mountain lion and two wolves that ran across the field. And now that's a sand mine. I mean, talk about losing something that's sacred. It's amazing to see these animals out in the woods. It used to be able to hunt deer and go walk around just because I wanted to walk around the woods. And now there's no woods there. They plowed all the trees down. They didn't even use the wood. They piled them, put them in piles, and just burned them. You know, it's terrible. I first noticed the sand mine industry kind of coming in. I didn't really know what it was. I just saw them plowing down more trees, putting them in piles and burning them. And then I saw elevators, and I thought, well, wow, they're going to put in a concrete plant or a gravel. And then I thought, geez, they don't have gravel out there in fields out there. And I wondered what they were doing because all of a sudden I started seeing piles of sand. Um, I guess I noticed the changes when the animals started moving around. They started taking different routes. They started moving in the woods different. The birds were staying away from these areas where these sand mines were. The animals were acting different. An elder once told me that he saw the change in the birds, and I started noticing them too. Then the changes were how their habits were when they were feeding. It started changing a lot of the deer moved totally away from the sand mines. They're a spooked animal anyway, so there was no grasses there. So they totally moved away, and I started seeing more silt in the streams. The Lemonwire River is right nearby, and that was just starting to get filled with silt from the sand mines. I noticed a lot of different changes in the driving habits of people. They wanted to stay away from these big trucks. These big trucks are going constantly all the time. And my sister, who lived near a sand mine, was totally afraid of having these trucks coming at her, and she was swerving to actually miss these trucks. I guess what's really to me that what I see is the changes is there's nothing left. These mines, they come in, they build these berms so you can't see what they're doing, and I don't know what they're trying to hide when they do this. They just put these trees in piles. They scrape off the top layer, which is really kind of hard because I eat native foods, native plants. To see them just destroy the plants is really heartbreaking. Uh, they're allowed to destroy this stuff. I mean, DNR. I don't know who's letting them just do it, but they're just making a buck for themselves. Um, I haven't seen them restore a mine site yet. So I don't believe that they actually can. I mean, who wants a bunch of little ponds around? I mean, to me, we've got enough water that's sacred. Well, if they use up all the water, who's going to make a pond out of it? It's just going to be a hole in the ground. Um, the destruction, there's nothing good about them at all. I guess I've really noticed, not I haven't guessed, I do know that my elders talk about the habits of the birds and how they are changing and the animals. One mine even came to my sister and asked her if they could check her water so that way she'd have good crops. And she's not even a farmer. And they wanted to check her aquifer, I'm sure, so that way they could try to get in behind her or get into her land that she owns. These places, they're really pretty exploitive. This land is all ours, and that we're all related. The non-native outlook is that we have lines and property lines, and I can do whatever I want on my land. But native outlook is that no matter if you live 20, 30 miles away, you're still related to me. You're still my neighbor. You're still my sister. You're still my brother. At that distance, your activity still affects me. I want to just relay that fact. We are related. Everything here is sacred. We're related to the trees. We're related to the birds, to the animals. We cannot keep extracting stuff without a price. Nobody takes and goes out and gets a plant that's native and just picks it. You say a prayer for that plant. And if you want, you sing a song for that plant, that it will come back. I want to talk about the trucks. How many trucks does it take to wreck a yard, a highway, a township highway in 8 weeks? And who pays for that? The township does. The mines don't pay for it. In some areas in Wisconsin, their sand truck goes by at a rate of at least one a minute. That's the problem with a mine. There are too many variables. Like many industries, the real effects show after they've left the area. And how do you put a number on the damaged soul? These mines have already hurt my heart. And, you say I have only 10% of my soul left after the mine leaves? You can't put a number on this. I actually have video of the mine sites at nighttime when they're blowing the dust around. I have a loading site video. I have also seen loaders, the dust blow out the loaders, and you see it blowing off the trucks. You can actually, if you're on the interstate, you can feel it, or you can hear it bouncing off your windshield if you're behind a frac sand truck going down the interstate. This is dangerous stuff. This frac sand dust is actually just as dangerous as asbestos. It's going to take a while for it to show up, but I'm sure there's going to be people 20, 30 years down the road that are going to have problems with this. Asbestos, people are still being compensated for asbestos, and the water at the homestead is being tested right now. There's the sand mine. It only takes time, and it is a threat. I really don't believe that all this stuff is really going to be just going to go away. Just with a mine coming in and showing up and leaving, there's going to be a lot of problems with this. Not only that, but with the water. I was actually part of a report at a health impact assessment for Crawford County at a mine down in Bridgeport. The Ho-Chunk actually passed a resolution against the sand mines, and the tribal DNR does respond to all complaints from tribal members. Once in a while, the Wisconsin DNR levies a few weeks sanctions for noncompliance, but overall, the frac sand industry does what it wants to make money. It's not money for us.